Title: The Unraveling of a Once Perfect Marriage. Today, I received divorce papers, and the weight of reality hit me hard. Losing my best friend, the person I thought I would spend my life with, was a painful consequence of my own thoughtless actions. As I wake up each morning, I find myself instinctively reaching out to his side of the bed, only to be met with the emptiness that serves as a constant reminder of my mistakes. The absence of his body, his smell, his smile, and his voice is a haunting void that I can't escape. What's going on, everybody? I hope everybody's feeling good. Hope everybody's doing well. We are back with another story, guys. I'll put the link to this in the description like usual. You guys read the title. Let's get into it. So, I cheated on my husband of 14 years, and I lost him forever. This is a long story, but it's something I needed to get off my chest. My husband, who's 36, and I am 36 as well, have been together for 16 years and married for 14. We have 2 daughters who are 13 and 12. About 3 months ago, I cheated on him with my coworker once, and immediately regretted it. To be honest, I still haven't figured out the real reason I cheated. On the surface level, the reason would be that my husband was too caught up with work for a couple of months, and I felt neglected and unappreciated. I know that isn't the real reason, so I'm trying to figure out what is through individual counseling. I only cheated on him that one time and immediately told him the next day because I couldn't bottle up my guilt and shame. He was shocked at first, but then went on to call me the most horrid names. I deserved it. I deserved a lot more than that. I don't even know how it got to the point of me sleeping with my coworker. It started with innocent flirting, and before I knew it, I made the worst mistake of my life by sleeping with him. I wish I had gotten hit by a car that day before sleeping with him. I cut off all contact with my coworker and gave up my phone to my husband. I wanted to reassure him that I was willing to make this work on his terms, whatever they were, as long as he would give me another chance. Even though in my heart, I knew that I wanted another chance to prove myself. I told him that I would understand if he went through with a divorce. I told my husband that I would do anything to regain his trust and express my sorrow and regret for having hurt him so much. My husband has always been the type of guy to give a person only one chance, even in his friendships. If the trust has been broken, he wouldn't give the other person another chance. He said that he wanted a divorce, but then the whole quarantine thing happened, and he stayed in the house for about 2 months and didn't proceed with the divorce. For the first month, he treated me very coldly, and the only time we talked was when it had to do with our daughters. I slept on a couch and tried to give him as much space as he needed, only reminding him from time to time that if he ever wanted to work things out, I'd be more than willing and would be completely devoted to the process of him working things out. He even said some spiteful things during that month and distanced himself from me completely. During the second month, there was a change as he began talking to me again. We talked about daily stuff and even watched movies together with the girls as a family. I felt like he wanted to reconcile, and I was happy. I was so thrilled that there might be a chance to save my family, to save us. Eventually, through the next couple of days, I could sense us becoming friends all over again. He even invited me to sleep on our bed again. It was really working out, and I reminded him that he could talk about anything he wanted with me. A couple of weeks passed by, and we were getting along even better. We were spending time as a family again and had gotten closer to each other as well. I felt really good about the way things were going, but I wish I would have suggested marriage counseling. I just didn't want to pressure him and have him think that I wanted to sweep the situation under the rug or that I was trying to influence him not to divorce me. One night, we were drinking a bit, just talking in our bedroom, and I felt a genuine connection rebuilding. It felt like we were falling for each other all over again, and it made me so happy. This is the part 1 regret now. I decided to make a move on him and straddled him while we were laughing at a joke. We looked each other in the eyes, and so naturally, I began making out with him. It honestly felt like we were 20 all over again. He kissed me back as well, but after a while, he just started crying. He told me to stop and said that he couldn't. I felt so awful because I felt like he wanted to but didn't at the same time. It broke my heart to directly see just how badly my stupid decision had hurt him. I told him that I was sorry, and we went to sleep. The reason I say I regret doing this is because I feel like this moment pushed him away forever. 2 days later, he informed me that he wanted to go through with the divorce. He said that he just doesn't think he could make it work, even after trying for the last 2 months. I wanted to fight with him about it, but I just told him that I understood. We had already decided before that if a divorce was to happen, it would be on fair terms. We both had lawyers, but we agreed on a lot of stuff together. He wanted to take a 2-week trip but would come back to pick up the girls after his trip. We both mutually agreed that we'd split the time with the girls. After this trip, they would spend half of the week with him and the other half with me. I even helped him pack up his stuff, and when we finished, I just bawled my eyes out and hugged it out. After his 2-week trip, he came back, and it felt good seeing him again, but I knew it wasn't the same. He just smiled, and we made small talk before he took the girls. We were both really good parents and want the best for our kids. Today, I got served divorce papers. It hurts so much to know that I lost my best friend because I was stupid. Sometimes, I roll over to his side of the bed in the morning, and I hate how I don't feel his body there anymore. I miss his smell, his smile, and his voice. I miss him filling up the entire room with his loud, adorable laugh. I miss him so much. The thing that hurts me the most in all of this is knowing how badly I hurt the person I loved the most. I wish I could go back in time and undo what I did, but I can't. So now here I am, writing about it, while crying when there's nothing I can do about it. I wish I could let him see for himself what I genuinely feel in my heart about how sorry I am, about how I would be the most devoted wife ever if he just gave me another chance. To let him know just how much I love him, and I'd literally do anything for him. After the most perfect thing that ever happened to me, I wish I could get him back, but I know that I lost him forever. What should I have thought about all that before I did that? Let me give my thoughts. She regrets it. She regrets it. She said she told him immediately after she did this, guys. Isn't it funny? Every time, it's always the coworker. What does that tell you? If you guys decide to get in relationships and all that stuff, and she's working, a good chance could be a coworker. I heard once. I don't know who I heard this from, and I feel like I heard it on YouTube. Women go to work to find a relationship. It's interesting. Like anybody who's ever worked in the office, anybody who's worked, period, anywhere. Married women mess with the guys there. They have work husbands and things like that. You know, they spend a lot of time together going on lunch breaks, things like that. So I'm not really surprised there's always a coworker. But she regrets it. Like, you didn't regret it when you went to the guy's house. When you started kissing on him, you actually went through with the sex, and then you regretted it. You would think that if they really regretted what they did before they engaged in the sex, something would hit them. Like, hold on, I have a husband. But for some reason, they don't regret it until after. After the sex. And I have to wonder, is it because it just wasn't good enough? Because I'm pretty sure if she cheated on her husband, and she was willing to go and cheat on her husband, and it was some of the most amazing sex she's ever had, 9 times out of 10, she will not tell him ever because she enjoys it. It's her little side thing. If she would have enjoyed it, she would have never told him. So does she really regret it? Not really. She just regrets the person she cheated with. She wished she would have cheated with someone better. You guys noticed she almost sucked him in. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, he was stuck in the house. They were both stuck in the house together. And I'm pretty sure it was going through his mind like, man, I can try to forgive her. But he couldn't. She gave her body away. That's a hard thing to forgive. That's a very hard thing to forgive. But they started drinking that one night. They're watching movies as a family. She's loving it. Oh, it feels like I'm 20 years old again. She likes that feeling. If she would have sucked him in, eventually, she would have done what she did again because she was enjoying that moment of feeling young again, feeling free again. Probably why she cheated. She felt single again. He clearly can never make you happy if you're willing to give yourself away like that and betray him and lie to him and deceive him, saying that you say was perfect. Ridiculous. Guys, let's check out these comments. Someone says the part where you mentioned him crying, I felt that. My ex cheated on me too, and I tried to be normal around him. And one day, he tried making out with me after weeks of not being affectionate towards each other. And I just burst into tears. My mind mentally was trying to enjoy it, but physically I had no butterflies and no sparks running through my body. I felt numb. It's devastating. And now you regret it and just ruined something great. You had 2 children together. Things were fine. But you just had to feel young again. Someone said, you can't cheat and seriously expect them to stay. Absolutely. You can't cheat and expect them to be the same person they were before you cheated. It's just not going to happen. It's never going to be the same, ever. So you either deal with it or split. Someone said, sure, humans aren't perfect. We make mistakes. As long as we learn valuable lessons from it. Now, listen, yes, we're not perfect. Humans aren't perfect. She tells you in her story. She tells you in the story, I have no idea why I cheated. You have the perfect family. Why would you do it again then? It wasn't like my husband was drinking a lot. So I cheated. So for him to, for her to not cheat, he needs to stop drinking. And, you know, she says herself, him working a lot, it really didn't make any sense because we still had each other. Thank you. You're married, and you built a life together that you said was perfect, was great. And of course, you don't know why you cheated. Of course, you'll cheat again. Of course, she will. And she started feeling good when, you know, they got drunk that one night, started making out. And she felt like a 20-year-old again. I think she's given her answer there. That's why she cheated. She wants to feel young again. She feels old when she's married, and things are stable, and there's structure. She wants to go out at work. He crossed our marital boundaries multiple times before the final penis and vagina occurred. Yep. And there's that mistake word again. Nonsense. I'm having a hard time believing that she didn't understand the repercussions of the activity. In fact, she knew it was bad enough to need to confess after it finally went PIV. I'll give her credit for the confession, but she knew way before PIV that she was doing something wrong. Absolutely. Absolutely. What do you mean? Like you can't. You can't give your body to somebody else when you're married and expect someone not to leave. Why? You can't. Or expect them not to be different if you stay together. He's never going to trust you again. And vice versa. If a man cheats on a woman, and she stays, she's never going to trust him again. Or she should. She's probably just going to leave because she knows she's not going to trust him. Things aren't going to be the same. Like it's messed up to put ever. Seriously. You know what risk she puts him at? STDs, really. Like, that's all okay, right? He should just forgive. Oh, it's okay. No. And if it was the other way around, no. If he did that to her, no. She should leave. Someone said, I was cheated on about a year ago, and it's easily the most messed up feeling I've ever felt because I love her so much, and it was just the ultimate betrayal. It's a huge combination of anger and sadness. It's the worst because the person you are supposed to trust most in the world betrays you. Thank you. I'm still getting over my loved one who is bothering me. It leaves permanent scars, and what you do is all about you and no one else. Thank you. Thank you. Even if you do it to someone and you guys break up with me, he has changed forever. Any little red flag feeling, you should always trust your intuition, but if he is with another woman and she works, then he will know what you think about this, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.